Globally, China went through a shutdown in the April-May timeframe. Now they're back on track, and the manufacturing is back. Europe is in relatively worse shape because of all the pressures of fuel, inflation, interest rates, and the geopolitical issues there. And then U.S. is somewhere in the middle. On the U.S. side, the consumers are spending, but they're spending more on services versus goods. So we have factored these things into our calculus. The good news for FedEx is our network is so vast that we're able to flex up or down depending upon the volume levels.
That's the CEO of FedEx, Raj Subramaniam, last hour on Squawk, the company holding its first investor day in a decade. Jim, some of these EPS CAGR targets to fiscal 25, 14, 19%.
Frank did a fantastic job. And I listened to that interview, and I said to myself, here's a company that is now in control of its destiny. I was always a Fred Smith fan because he's a great economist. He created something fabulous. But this gem right now, where they've got Europe fixed, he really left. I've got to tell you that Raj got a good hand. He left him so that Europe is good now with TNT. You heard they can switch to services. I was with Slipsky, Adam Slipsky yesterday. He was with Amazon Web Services, and they clearly did overbuild. All right, that was their mistake. But e-commerce is still strong. So it's one of the few things that is strong right now. And I think FedEx is going to have a great year.
So is it a bet on global growth reaccelerating in the back half?
It's a bet on them being in charge of their destiny. I've always felt that they weren't. I always felt that they were, at one time or another, going to get beaten by whatever was thrown at them. Now I think that they know how to regulate. The cost structure is going to go down. This is one of the few stocks during this period that I can say I like it because they've just gotten very good.
So can it take over the Action versus UPS?
Well, UPS, Carol Tomei just got a very good contract with the union. Now, the last quarter wasn't nearly as bad as people think it was. I happen to think that this idea that everybody's now into services, I think that's a summer thing. By the end of the summer, they're going to run out of money because I listened to Phil LeBeau. And if I have to hear about one more jammed airline with prices that are so jacked up, eventually people are going to start taking a car. By the way, who doesn't know someone whose flight wasn't canceled?
Delta just made it easier to change your flights this weekend because things are going to be tight 4th of July weekend.
Well, I just think that people are tired of overpaying and then not getting. Now, I had Spirit on last night. Now, if you think it's bad now, if you think that JetBlue buys Spirit, they admit they're going to shut down planes. The only cheap airlines, airfare in the whole country is New York to West Palm. And that's because there's so much competition. And I am adamant that idea that JetBlue could win on this it's almost laughable.